Welcome back, everybody. You know, when the camera comes up and you're making a weird noise, like, that's what I just did.
Okay.
Winston C., what is trending on at BT Toronto today?
Let's start with helmet or no helmet.
Yeah, this is a conversation we've been having all morning long around curling, of course. We were talking about what would it be like if we made them wear helmets. And a lot of people chiming in about how their families feel about this. Kimberly saying, my competitive curling son is not happy if helmets become required. Helmets should be for kids, adults. Stop curling drunk.
What?
I don't know how that.
A lot of people would. Never mind. You know what?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
No, that's a whole other situation.
That's a whole other situation.
It is
anything.
Curling for
Yes.
some people, for the amateur curler, tends to be very much a social affair.
I did not know that. Yeah. Listen, if you're doing anything athletically, don't mix it with booze. Even bowling can be dangerous.
But the point being is that they felt that curlers are responsible enough.
Gushu was not. We just want to point out he was not anywhere drunk. He was playing the Masters.
He was
now,
not inebriated.
Another viewer pointed out to me later that could we take a look at his injury again? Another viewer pointed to me later that the helmet would not have protected him. He did a face plant.
Oh my gosh, it was so bad.
And so they're saying.
But what if it had a guard in the front?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, is that what we're talking about now? Is putting guards in front?
But what people are saying is, how far do you go?
Figure skaters. Should figure skaters now? Well, he came back, by the way. He was not seriously hurt. Thank goodness.
He could have broken his jaw easily.
He could have had a concussion.
Had ricocheted. But you know what? That is a good point. When you see the figure skating, the way they whip each other around, I always think one slip. My gosh, they'd go crashing on their skulls.
And
but even in things like, help me out. What are the Montreal-based Cirque du Soleil? These death-defying feats that they do, right?
Yeah.
It's like, how far do you go? Someone else was saying the Ontario Sporting Ministry has required all sports to get funding to adopt a concussion policy, even clay target shooting. So does that apply to curling as well?
Yeah. Or skiing.
Now,
even.
This is going to pertain to me in a few weeks. I'm going to reveal something here on Breakfast Television. I've been asked by the Oakville Synchronized Skating Club to come out and, with other dads, my daughter is on the club, and other dads and we're going to do a performance. We are going to do a routine, a synchronized skating routine, a 16-mile Creek Arena. Oh my gosh, and that's the thing. I'm wondering, should I wear a helmet?
As an example?
I was already planning on wearing a pillow on my butt, but should I wear a helmet?
Yes, then. I think you should. Are you really going to be wearing a pillow on your back? It's going to go with the whole thing.
Yeah, I think
safety first.
Probably should.
Knee pads, yeah.
Yeah, but the general consensus is, you know, if Megan was saying, I agree with the benefits of helmets for curling, but if we made it a rule, how far do we go? Skating?
A ruling here in Ontario not too long ago after an accident in Niagara that Zamboni operators and ice maintenance workers have to wear helmets when they're on the ice. Not all of them follow through with that, but good idea. Yeah. Let's move on to Starlight Dash. Little Mia just broke our hearts this morning, stole our hearts this morning.
And stole our viewers' hearts. Lots of people tweeting about that. Matt saying, you know, finally a beautiful, good news story. Melanie, you pulled it off very nicely. I know she tried to sneak a few toys in there.
For the kids,
very
for the
stealthily.
kids.
Yeah, this was, of course, at the Toys R Us up in Richmond Hill, and it was a chance. The Starlight Foundation, they do this every year. They pick a child, deserving child, and Mia has had a tough time of it for the last year.
In and out of hospital 15 times. You can't even imagine what she's gone through, and the family, and you're sitting in hospital for New Year's Eve and the holidays, and you think, when am I going to get out of here? And now she gets to experience this joy, which she should as a child.
And brought her brother along for the ride, which was wonderful.
And lots of volunteers also chiming in. Liz saying to us, I just have the tweet up there, I used to volunteer with Starlight Canada in the 90s when they were on Consumers Road. Love what they do for kids, and lots of people supporting that. So lots there.
I think it's starlightfoundation.org, if I'm not mistaken.
To donate?
I think it's starlightfoundation.org.
Yes, it is.
Starlightfoundation.org if you want to donate. A great group. We do a lot of work. Still talking about Halloween Candy Watch.
Yeah. It's really interesting. It was our second most viewed article on breakfasttelevision.ca, and it's the Halloween Candy Watch. Yesterday, in the Niagara region, two candy bars, parents found, or kids bit into razor blades. Today in Toronto, someone found a thumbtack inside a chocolate bar as well, and that's sparking a lot of concern within the parent community. A lot of people tweeting, why would people do this?
Items.
Now, the one thing we have to remember on this, and a lot of people will argue that we have overhyped this, that there was a study done in the U.S. that found there was not one documented case of candy being tampered with in the U.S. since the 50s. and that any cases where blades had been found were either hoaxes,
urban legend,
or put there by someone as a gag or a joke, and they were going to tell someone later. There was also a case of candy laced with heroin that was supposedly making the rounds. It turns out it was a child that got into a heroin stash in his uncle's place or something. You always have to be careful and cautious, but at the same time, we can't get alarmed like this, saying, "Oh, it's rampant. Everyone's doing it. It's happening all the time." They've got to investigate each and every one of these cases and see what happens.
But always a good reminder just to go through your candy.
Always.
You can never be too sure.
Yeah.
and it gives you an excuse to go through your kid's candy.
If a stranger gives anything to your kid, I would kind of check it out no matter what.
Yeah.
We're coming back on Breakfast Television. And still ahead on Entertainment City.
Justin Bieber and his tidy whities. Kevin, close your eyes.
I'll show you. I'll show you. I'll show you.
Leon's is proud to furnish Breakfast Television's green room. Find your style for less at Leon's or leons.ca.